Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Real quick, if you haven't, please make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. Only about 5% of my current viewers are subscribed, and it means a lot and helps out the channel a lot. Also, make sure to like, because it helps the algorithm. Okay, so Gaijin announced the upcoming BR brackets, or BR changes for the October patch, and I noticed an aircraft that I really thought was going to get changed. Two aircraft. One was the F8U2, and the other one is the F8E. Now, if you guys don't know, there's two aircraft and in the US tech tree, and they're both very, very similar. The main differences being the F8E gets access to the AIM-9C, and it sits 0.7 higher. Yeah, so, 0.4 higher, 10.7, 10.3. So the F8E Crusader, yeah, I honestly, it's really a sad struggle bus. Okay, so I'm torn. So the plane itself is actually amazing. It's one of my favorite aircraft. I have a decent amount of games in it. You know, you can't tell me otherwise. It's an amazing plane. But there's absolutely no reason to play it right now. There's just none. At 0.4 lower, you get access to an aircraft that is the same aircraft. You just don't get the AIM-9C. And the AIM-9C is not worth the 0.4 up tier. Also, this plane can see a couple of aircraft that are currently really, really scary. The F4E and the A10C. The F4E gets the AIM-7E-2, which has been a very scary missile for a minute now, ever since they got buffed. And the A10C has AIM-9Ms. So you are now an aircraft that, prior to the, BR changes, was, fine. I didn't think there was much of a difference. There was a 0.3 BR separating the 10.0 and 10.3 F8E, or in the F8U2, and that was fine. You 0.3 higher, you get AIM-7, AIM-9Cs, and you get the, very similar flight model, radar, stuff like that. And turn around, and right now, the F8E, I get is 0.4 higher, but it's a lot worse. There's really no reason to take it out. The up tiers you get just do not make the aircraft very playable. And again, guys, this is not me trying to get hate on a vehicle, because I actually love this plane. It's one of my favorite aircraft. It's one of my favorite naval fighters. I love the history behind this aircraft, being the last gunfighter for the U.S. That was what it was commonly recalled and called. I love this plane. There's no reason why I wouldn't love this plane. There's nothing I dislike about this aircraft. The issue is that it sits at a spot where it just isn't as playable. And the F8U2, for whatever reason, for me, I just don't like it as much as the F8E. Maybe it's the flight model, maybe it's the lack of 9Cs. It's just nothing to write home about for me, and the F8E is one of those aircraft that the 9Cs just can't carry it hard enough. It just is not worth the up tiers. Because, the missile, the AIM-9C is a pulse-guided missile, and it gets one shaft. It's very, very easy to dodge. In fact, the R3R tends to be way more reliable for me personally. I do want to know what your guys' thoughts are down in the comments about this aircraft, because as it is right now, is it worth playing over the F8U2? What are the reasons to want to play it over the F8U2? It's one of those planes that I thought with the BR, being changed, I would have imagined this plane go down 0.3, or go down a little bit. Move the F8U2 to 10.0, move this thing back to 10.3. I know that's old brackets, but at 10.7, hopefully things can change out if they can decompress the Phantoms and move up the A10 maybe. It just is, the A10C is not much of an issue. It's just, if it shoots an NM at you, you might be screwed. The real thing that I'm really struggling with is the F4E, because the F4E is, let's just be honest, guys, it's an amazing flight model with amazing air-to-air missiles. You're going to have a hard time, fighting it. Another thing is is the thing worth the 0.4 higher with the, AIM-7, AIM-9Cs? Are the 9Cs, I know I've said this a bunch now, but it's just the 9C is a one-shaftable pulse-guided missile. It really, it's fun when you get down-tiered and you go against things that don't have the RWR or they don't have chaff. And you do run into players who just don't bring chaff, but at this BR, it's kind of a missile that's it might work, it might not. Really, really iffy on that. And it's just kind of hard for me to make this video because I don't know how far I can push it, saying this aircraft is a good aircraft, but its BR placement really sucks. If it goes up any higher or an up tier, it's completely unplayable, just about unplayable. In a down tier, it does fine. I think they need to find that sweet spot for it. And again, there's just no reason to play the F8E right now. The F8U2 is better in the sense that it's lower BR, slightly better flight model, I believe. I think it wing grips a bit more easier, but they fixed the wing gripping and how that works. So it really is just a worse F8U2 at a higher BR. That's really the takeaway from it. I mean, I prefer this thing over the F8U2, so please try to understand my perspective, and my opinion is coming from a place where I actually really like this plane. It's just that it's not a spot right now that I am enjoying playing it. I understand why it's higher. It is a good aircraft. It can definitely be abused. But keep in my mind, guys, I think going up against A10Cs and F4Es just is a little unfair to this aircraft, as it just doesn't perform against F4Es. I mean, the F4E is a lot better of an aircraft, honestly. It's just hard because the F8E is one of those spot planes that if it goes up, it is going to get absolutely, bodied. If it goes down, it's going to be doing the body work. I don't know. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are. Please do comment down below what your thoughts are on the aircraft. What do you think Gaijin can do to balance it out? If it's balanced now and I just need to come to, recognition that this plane is not what it used to be, and just accept that. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Discord will be linked down below, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.